It's a very wet Wednesday morning, and Nikki and I have been to the Castlehaven Youth Project in Camden to see brilliant community facilities being put to use from the youngest children in the nursery through a brilliant project for 8 to 12-year-olds, after school clubs, a superb youth club, and then right the way through to clubs for pensioners as well. This is a really impressive facility which is being invested in to make sure that the whole community can come together, and they're actually doing quite a lot of intergenerational projects as well. The reason why we're here though is because the local Liberal Council is threatening to cut the budgets here for this youth facility, and is opening actually every night of the week at the moment for 14 to 19-year-olds. But with the cuts, over 50% cuts they say, this excellent facility will have to close some evenings, and that would be a real step backwards, because we're wanting around the country and here in London to have more youth facilities on offer. That's why I've been working with the Mayor on the Mayor's youth offer, the £79 million which is going to be invested in youth facilities right across London. So while we're putting money in from a Labour government nationally and locally, we've got here Liberal and Tory councils who are cutting the budgets.
Last year we got 50-odd thousand. This year the funding was cut by 56%. We got £24,000 to run the centre 5 days a week, and we open during holidays and school times. We tried to appeal, the right to appeal, but they said there's no right to appeal. And we also, when completing the application, we did have support from Camden in looking over it and saying whether it's done right or not right, you know, like it's done adequately, and still that we got the funding, and we've not really had a proper explanation of why we've been cut. And it's quite vital that we get that funding, because we're in a really high crime area. A lot of young people that access the service are coming from families with unemployment, low achievement at school or in units. So it's really vital that we find that extra money to run, and we're going to lose staff because of that.
How much notice did the Lib Dem Council give you before they cut?
We never knew until probably the end of March. Just the middle of March, about first week in March, around the 9th or something, is when we got told that we're not getting the money.
So is this going to mean you're going to have to cut back on the services you provide?
Yeah, we are going to have to cut to 3 days a week.
It really doesn't make sense, does it, Nikki?
It certainly doesn't. And Ken and I the Mayor and I have been extremely concerned about the decline in facilities for teenagers in some parts of London, and especially now with the pressures of denser urban development and kids being literally squeezed off the streets by traffic and cars. And we've got to provide facilities like this. And this is such an amazing one. It's so valued and so valuable. It makes no sense to cut it.
We also announced in the Children's Plan the largest investment in children's play from the national government we've ever seen. We're going to spend over £230 million across the country to rebuild or build a new 3,500 playgrounds, and also 30 adventure playgrounds for 8 to 13-year-olds. And the good news is that 6 London boroughs are going to get money from this April to start spending. And here in Camden, there's £2 million starting now to rebuild playgrounds and build new ones, but also to do a new adventure playground for young people here in this part of London. So it's a Labour government nationally giving money to Camden. The only thing is, it's really important the local council takes up the opportunity and spends the money well, and doesn't use the money we're putting in to cut spending and divert it elsewhere to other parts of the borough or to different things. We want this to be a genuine addition to play spending in Camden.